As singer Andy Williams said, "It really is the most wonderful time of the year. What with the cold breeze, the steady beating rain, and the seasonal depression that seems to be lasting just a bit longer than the season. Top of all that, a nice cup of Abuelita's hot chocolate with a bread product makes this the best time of the year. If you say you enjoy summer, you're trying so hard not to fit in." And, as is traditional for this time of the year, we get to spend it watching our favorite holiday movies. Now, I know many enjoy the Santa Claus or Home Alone, but I am a simple person. Give me a Rankin and Bass film any day of the week, and I'll just sit right in front of the television. I still get pissed at how in A Year Without Santa Claus, the kids pestered Santa while he was sick to work, and he fucking went back to work.
Dear Santa,
I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
I mean, these kids got legs, they got arms. Make the toys yourself and let the old man rest. But the one film that gets played the most, like it's on repeat again and again and again all day on Christmas, is A Christmas Story.
Take the whole with our glory. Ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra.
Yeah, pretty tasteless of a clip, I gotta admit. But I've got a reason to show this, so just trust the process. The one thing I remember as a kid when I watched this scene, I always thought to myself, it's Christmas. Why are those people still working? If you happen to be unfamiliar with businesses during Christmas or around the holidays, many shops close up for the season in recognition of the occasion. In fact, Christmas is the third most popular holiday for employees to call off, with 94% of the labor force calling out for the day. It's ranked 6th for holidays overall, behind Labor Day at 95%, Memorial Day at 95%, New Year's at 96%, Independence Day and Thanksgiving both at 97%. It seems the people will crave the turducken and fireworks. But even if not ranked 1, Christmas still sees the vast majority of stores closing up for the season, regardless of labor force. Walmarts are closed, Costco's are closed, McDonald's are closed, a majority of places are closed for the season. If Ronald don't got me, I know the crackhead at Denny's drinking his 10th cup of coffee got me. Can I get an amen? But the one thing you can also be certain of is that there will be that one hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant open that has those faded out menus, an easily seeable kitchen, and a shouting couple who will make sure that damn meal is gonna slap. Now, I've been talking a minute about Christmas and businesses that some of you are probably wondering, optics, what does all that have to do with your video talking about Chinese and Hanukkah? Well, as many of my videos will be, it's about laying the foundation that I will build on. The reason I mentioned Christmas is because it is one of the most popular holidays to be celebrated worldwide, and even more so in the United States.
He's got an automatic down here somewhere. Let me through, you son of a bitch! He's got a grenade!
Due to its popularity, many businesses take it upon themselves to be closed in recognition of this holiday or around the time as I just stated. This means if you want to grab a bite or you want to do some shopping, you most likely are going to be out of luck on Christmas Day. This impacts other people who do not celebrate Christmas, such as the Jewish people who celebrate Hanukkah.
it's just not fair. Bum bitty 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 bum bum. Bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty 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 bum bum. Bum bitty 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 bum.
I don't know how to feel about this being the most popular Hanukkah movie currently, but to those unfamiliar, Hanukkah is the Jewish celebration of the Festival of Lights and recognizes the story of Jewish soldiers who lit a menorah during a reclamation of Jewish territory in 164 BCE. The story goes that the Maccabees, the Jewish soldiers, had enough oil in their menorah for one day, but the oil lasted for 8 consecutive days. Since then, Hanukkah celebrates the triumphs of the Jewish people, similar to how September 16th is celebrated as Mexican Independence Day. Isn't that Cinco de Mayo? No, that is actually the day a famous battle was held in Mexico. People think Cinco de Mayo is independence for Mexicans because Americans use it as an excuse for taco bars and cheap margaritas. But back to the Hanukkah topic. The holiday coincides with other major holidays like Christmas, but is often forgotten in favor of the Jolly Red Man. Like the middle child, Hanukkah is often overlooked by society in favor of Christmas, so those who celebrate Hanukkah tend to be forgotten overall. Hell, look at my setting. I'm already getting ready for that Christmas spirit. However, due to societal dismissal of non-Christmas celebrators, Jews found solace in a community outside their own to celebrate the occasion, the Chinese community. And this is where we tie it back to the title of this video, baby. Woo! Trust the process. Sorry, got a bit excited there. Let's break this up into 3 separate lectures about why this relationship was forged between Jews and Chinese. And to start it off, let's go back to a common point in time for American history, the 1900s. I mentioned before the importance of Ellis Island for immigrants entering the country, but I'm not going to talk about this place that much. Instead, I'm going to talk about this one here. When immigrants came to the United States, it can be assumed not a lot of them had much to their name or wealth, so many times these immigrants set up shop in the Lower East Side and managed to build a hotspot of diversity where everyone interacted with each other. And you know, these immigrants had to make life for themselves inside the United States. It's not like jobs were in abundance for these groups who were seen as outsiders in their new home. So, like your grandpa says, it was time to pull out the bootstraps and get to work, which many immigrants did. Sorry Panda Express, but you're to Chinese food what Taco Bell is to Mexican food. These businesses were founded by Chinese migrants who wanted to retain the culture they took pride in while sharing the delicacies with the neighbors around them. I can assume we all know at least a few dishes served at a Chinese restaurant, so I won't go into much detail about each sold. Just know that I will die on the hill that orange chicken with pan-fried noodles and a side of spring rolls will always remain top tier. But one thing to know about Chinese cuisine, and I mean this with the utmost respect, is that they have such a wide array of ingredients and preparations to cook a dish that there's something for everyone. You don't eat meat? Get some tofu. You don't eat pork? Have a cooked hen. You just don't eat in general? Drink some soup. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Chinese cuisine uses a wide array of stuff to help cook a dish for consumption. Now, a funny coincidence about the dishes cooked, most of the time the preparation required thorough cleansing of the meat and also had the ingredients handled with care and preparation. Now, like many religions, Judaism requires specific dietary restrictions to keep with the faith. A part of Jewish custom is that food needs to be prepared in a certain way before it's consumed. You see that with a lot of spiritual practices. Christians are not supposed to eat meat from strangled animals, offered to idols, derived from blood, or the result of fornication. What the fuck? For Muslims, food must not come from an animal that died before being slaughtered. If you follow a faith, you most definitely got some dietary restrictions going on. Hey, I see you eating that slice of ham with a side of lobster on Friday. Don't worry, I won't tell. Though for Jews, the restrictions are as follows. Deuteronomy 12:21. The mammals and birds that may be eaten must be slaughtered in accordance with Jewish law. Deuteronomy 14:21. We may not eat animals that died of natural causes or that were killed by other animals. In addition, the animal must have no disease or flaws in the organs at the time of slaughter. Numbers 11:22. These restrictions do not apply to fish, only to the flocks and herds. Leviticus 7:26-27 and Leviticus 17:10-14. Torah prohibits consumption of blood. Kosher is the term used when keeping to the practice in Judaism, and the funny coincidence is that Chinese culture practiced meal preparation that coincided with these bylaws of Judaism. The oil mainly used to cook meals is sesame seed, which is permitted within Judaism. The avian cooked, like ducks or chicken, are handled with special care in Chinese restaurants because the dishes fall under kosher category of Jewish practice. Hell, if need be, Jews could just eat the lo mein often offered by Chinese restaurants since those were made by vegetable byproducts. On top of all that, Chinese immigrants were introduced to newish customs in the United States when they arrived. That was Christmas. Christmas wasn't a secluded practice that was mainly connected to Christian faith. Okay, it was, but not in the traditional sense. Like many do today, Christmas is primarily a celebrated time for Christians to herald the birth of Jesus Christ. You might know him, he's kind of a big deal. Yes, I am aware that the holiday was originally a pagan holiday commandeered by the Catholic Church, and Jesus was most likely born around spring. But damn it, it's a Chinese Hanukkah, so let me be. While Christmas is a time for family and love, if you remember history, early America was anything but the latter. So Christmas rolls around, and many Christians celebrate the holiday for either the day or the week, and this leaves outsiders to fend for themselves, as you can imagine. For many Chinese and Jewish migrants, the concept of Christmas was foreign since both groups were not involved in the practice to varying degrees. Yet, a Hanukkah miracle is seen. On Christmas Day, when stores were closed and American Jews had no place to dine or purchase goods, the warm lights from a local Chinese store acted as a beacon. The characters painted on the side of the building were foreign to understand. Yet after walking in the New York slums under the falling snow, these people entered the establishment and were met with a smell of spices cooking and a host who speaks a new language for them to understand. Inside were cuisines new and unfamiliar to Jews. Hell, the arrival of Chinese cuisine was still new to the States since it only arrived in the 1850s, and I'm sure we know why they brought them over. But on Christmas Day, the locally owned Chinese restaurant was open for business and welcomed any to its doors. Even when familiarizing themselves with the menu, the options were many, and as much were kept within kosher. Duck, rice, noodles, tofu, soup. Jews had options of food to consume. While many Christians celebrated at home, American Jews and Chinese Americans were spending the day with each other and sharing in unique, unfamiliar customs. Though you're probably wondering, optics, was this just a small thing that happened in New York? Well, like many things, you have to start off somewhere. But over the years, Chinese cuisine in Jewish households has become a sort of tradition or even a constant in their homes. A Kosher Christmas, written by Joshua Plout, is an anthological piece that discusses Jewish customs for American Christmas and includes recognition for Jewish consumption of Chinese food on Christmas Day. Comedian Alan Sherman, in My Favorite Year, referred to Jews having known three things: suffering, where to find great Chinese food, and funny. Hell, alongside with consuming Chinese food, Jews began to play mahjong with each other and the Chinese mothers who stayed home in the early 20th century. But that's a story for another time. Despite the tribulations encountered in the 20th century, Jews and Chinese found some pairing with one another that offered unity against adversity. At a time the dominant class looked down upon the oppressed, these two groups stood united and continue to do so to this day. And that, my dear viewers, is the story of the very first Chinese Hanukkah. Or one of the earlier ones, who knows. Maybe we'll find out newer information from the time before. Like I say, history is made every day, so decide on how you make yours. To you all, I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a joyous Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year's. To you and yours, stay safe, and I wish you well.